Miss, I will introduce my final project. First of all, I will introduce the introduction. So the purpose of this fire hypothesis is that humans learn a second language when they obtain information in understandable ways and when their affective filters are low enough to allow entry to such information. A short biography about Stephen Krashen, May 14, 1941, Chicago, Cook County, Illinois, USA. Stephen Krashen, born 1941, is professor emeritus at the University of Southern California. Hypothesis that he proposed in terms of second language acquisitions. The acquisitions learning discussions, the natural order hypothesis, the monitor hypothesis, the input hypothesis, the effective filter hypothesis, then summary and examples of each hypothesis, the acquisitions learning distinctions. Language acquisitions are process similar, if not identical, to the way children develop ability in their first language. We will use learning to refer to conscious knowledge of a second language, knowing the rulers, being aware of them and being able to talk about them. The natural order hypothesis, one of the most interesting discoveries in language acquisitions research in recent years, has been the finding that the acquisitions of grammatical structures occurs in a predictable orders, acquirers of a given language tend to acquire certain grammatical structures early and others later. The monitor hypothesis postulates that acquisitions and learnings are used in very specific ways. Typically, the acquisition initiates our broadcast in a second language and is responsible for our fluency. The input hypothesis attempts to answer that is perfect the most important questions in our fields and gives an answer that has a potential impact on all areas of language teaching. The affective filter hypothesis captures the relationship between affective variables and the process of acquiring a second language by postulating that the acquirers varies with respect to the strength or levels of their affective filters. Most of those studies can be placed in one of those three categories. Numbers 1, motivation, number 2, self-confidence, and number 3, anxiety. In conclusion, input is the most useful hypothesis for acquiring a second language. Perfect. One of the most important concepts is acquiring a second language from current theory is important because it tries to answer a crucial theoretical questions of how to acquire a language is also important because it can obtain the answer to many of our everyday problems in a second language at all levels. Hence, Miss, that's all.